You know, in the world of tech, so much knowledge feels locked away. But what if we could just break down those walls? What if we could boil down really complex ideas onto a single page? Well, today, we're going to look at a quiet revolution that's doing exactly that. Have you ever been there? You're trying to learn a new coding trick or figure something out, and bam, you hit a paywall. Or maybe you've tried to read a research paper that's so dense it feels like it's written in another language. It's a super common frustration, and it really makes you wonder, is our most valuable technical know-how getting trapped?
I mean, we all know the old way, right? Knowledge is stuck behind fees, it's buried in super academic language, and it takes forever to get published. But a new model is basically flipping that whole script. It's completely free, it's short and to the point, and it's powered by a community that moves at the speed of the internet.
So, what does this new model actually look like in practice? Well, it's an experiment, really. It takes the form of a totally new kind of technical magazine, one that completely rethinks how knowledge ought to be shared. At its heart, it's an experimental magazine, built on this simple but really powerful idea. It's made by the community, for the community. The whole mission is to take these topics that seem super intimidating and make them accessible to, well, anyone who's curious. And this whole thing runs on a few core principles. First off, it's always free. You can download it, share it, even print it out, no charge. It's also a nonprofit, kept alive by the community itself, and it covers this huge range of topics, everything from really practical coding tips to some wonderfully weird hardware hacks. But here's the kicker. The one creative rule that makes this entire project work so beautifully, it all comes down to a single, really powerful number. 1. That's it. Every single article has to fit on one page, not a 20-page paper, not a 3,000-word essay, just one. And you know, this constraint, it isn't a limitation. It's actually its greatest strength. It forces the writer to be incredibly clear and focused. And this quote right here from the project's call for new writers, it just captures the whole vibe perfectly. It's welcoming, it's a little bit cheeky, and it sends a really clear message. You don't have to be intimidated to share what you know. Come on, it's just one page. So, what can you actually fit on a single page? It turns out, a ton. We're talking clever programming tricks, deep dives into security, retrocomputing, modern electronics. The list just keeps going. It's amazing proof that you don't need endless space to share a really powerful idea.
Okay, so it sounds like a great idea in theory, but does it actually work? Like, is this sustainable in the long run? The answer is a huge yes, and the proof is right there in the thriving ecosystem that the community has built.
You just have to look at the project's journey to see it. It launched back in 2019, put out 2 issues pretty quick, and then it went quiet for a while. But, and this is the really cool part, in late 2023, the community brought it roaring back to life with a resurrected 3rd issue. And the fact that they've been releasing issues consistently ever since just proves this model has some serious staying power.
And the response from people? Oh man, it was incredible. This wasn't just some niche project that a few people liked. It tapped into this huge, unmet demand for knowledge that's both deep and easy to get to. How massive are we talking? Well, that very first issue has been downloaded, get this, over 250,000 times. For a brand new, totally experimental zine, that number is just staggering. It's absolute proof that people were hungry for this. And hey, that wasn't just some flash in the pan. A recent issue from 2025 has already been downloaded over 140,000 times. So years later, the interest is just as strong as it was on day one. And this thing is alive. It's constantly growing. What you're looking at here is basically the kitchen, where the next issue is being cooked up by the community in real time. Articles get submitted, they go through a review process, and then they get polished up for release. This isn't some top-down ivory tower process. It's a living, breathing, grassroots engine for sharing knowledge. So you can see, this isn't just a cool magazine. It's a potential blueprint for the future of how we share technical information. So how does this little revolution keep going? And how can anyone, jump in? Well, getting involved is actually super straightforward. You can contribute your own one-page article, you can support the project by buying a physical print edition, which is what helps keep all the digital versions free for everybody, or you can just follow along through email or RSS. The door is wide open. And that brings us to the final question. And it's not just about this one project. It's really about a whole new way of thinking. So just think for a second about that clever trick you know.
that fascinating idea you've learned, or that one unique piece of knowledge you have. What could you share on a single page?